News in English.
This is Radio Imanzi broadcasting from Kigali. Here is the news in English, brought to you by Fiona Umuganwa. The headlines. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Vincent Biruta, and the Minister of Defense, Major General Albert Murasira, have attended the Economic Community of Central African States meeting in Brazzaville. Nyamasheke district authorities are relocating those living in high-risk zones. Ambassador Zefa Mutanguha, an expert in weighing scales, talks about the importance of weighing scales in the socio-economic development. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Vincent Biruta, and the Minister of Defense, Major General Albert Murasira, have attended the Economic Community of Central African States meeting in Brazzaville. The Economic Community of Central African States is a community that unites 11 Central African countries, including Rwanda. The meeting in Congo-Brazzaville started on January 17, 2022, with a point on security issues. Nyamasheke district authorities are relocating those living in high-risk zones. There are some people still living in high-risk areas in Nyamasheke district, but they say that they don't want to relocate. They have been living on those lands for a long time and they don't want to move. The district mayor, Mukamasabu Apoloni, says that they visited these people and their lives are at risk because they are living in unstable lands. By the end of this year, about 572 families will have been relocated to new and safe places. Carpenters in Nyagatare district are pleased with the expansion of their workplace. They say that with the expansion, they are going to have enough space to store their equipment, and parts of the workplace that were leaking are going to be fixed. Now, Magazete Eugene says that the workplace will be finished by the end of this year, and that there will be space to rent for other activities. Some people say that through the government's socio-economic development program, they have started their own businesses, but they are ashamed of those who are on the streets begging for money. Sheikh Bahame Hassan, Director General in charge of social welfare in the Ministry of Local Government, says that there are programs like the VUP program that was started in 2008 to help people get a source of income and improve their welfare. These programs have shown a very promising progress. Weighing scales are some of the most important equipments used in businesses in everyday life. Most of us do not understand how they work. Therefore, dishonest businessmen may use them to cheat clients. Ambassador Zefa Mutanguha, an expert in weighing scales, talks about the importance of weighing scales in the socio-economic development of the country. I'd like to ask, what is the contribution of these scales in the socio-economic development of Rwandans?
Oh, it's a lot. First of all, before the government builds, they must measure. And to be able to make plan, the planning of the country involves a lot. It involves figures, it involves, So for instance, let me give you an example of an industry. Industry, once it manufactures things, there are raw materials that come in, and then they are processed, and then the goods get out. Now, whenever you want to record what has come into the industry, you must weigh it. A lot of industries is weighing. Let's for instance give an example of a milling industry where they are making flour. They must know the amount of corn that has come to the factory for milling in order to know how much flour has come out. So similarly, all industries, And industries make the mainstay of the government planning. They must know what goods have come in, what goods have gone out. And then even in making the pricing, because price means value, which gets to the budget of the government, you must know how much is for how much. How much is a ton of cement, for instance? How much, it's all weighing. So weighing scales are extremely central. So which means that if your government is planning to make economic development, it must have exact and good measurements. If, for instance, it says Simerwa is producing 100 tons of cement, it must be 100 tons. And to be able to know that these are 100 tons, it must be weighed by a proper weighing scale. That's why Simerwa, for instance, has got what you call weight bridges. Let me give you an example. Producing cement involves so many types of raw materials, including lime, it includes stones, it includes all sorts of things. Before a truck comes from the quarry going to the factory, it must pass over a weighing scale. A weighing scale known as a weight bridge. So when it goes in, the driver gets out, and then they know what weights, what stones, for instance, or lime has gone in. It goes and powers into the factory. Then it comes back the way the truck, so they know net how much material has gone to. So it's important to know the figures, to know the weights, to know the value of the weights, to make proper planning, proper budgeting. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you. Some customers say that they don't know how to use these weights, scales. How are you going to help them learn, get the knowledge they need to use them?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. Thank you, Fiona. So, there's a lot of ignorance about weighing scales. And unfortunately, the people, they suffer from it. They're cheated left and right. There are different types of weighing scales. There's, for instance, this weighing scale, which is very common, which has been common in the villages, we call it a counter scale with the stones. We say them. We have them. It has got what you could call a plate where you put materials and then where you put stones. These stones are not marked, most of them. So when a villager comes to a shop or to a kiosk, he finds, or he sends somebody to go to buy sugar, for instance, or rice or whatever, they give a packet, say this is 2 kilos. Now, he or she doesn't know what type of scale has weighed that. He trusts the trader. Sometimes these traders are not honest, very dishonest. One, they may use a faulty weighing scale, because weighing scales, for us we say weighing scales which are approved by the regulator, RSB, Rwanda Bureau of Standards for Standards Board. But when you go to these dishonest traders, they tamper with these stones. These stones, there's a stone of 5 grams, 10 grams, 1 kilo, 2 kilos, 5 kilos. You find that, sometimes what you would see as a 5 kilogram, they have done some funny things in the stone. So instead of being complete 5 kilos, it's 4 point something. So this is the term. Another thing, of course, is that these stones are not marked, so the manager does not know if it is 1 kilo, 2 kilos. We trust. And then you see, sometimes also use faulty scales. You have gone to the market, You find a lady selling groundnuts or potatoes. He's got a jerrycan which has cut. Then he puts the seed. So he's using a weighing scale which has to adjust. It tells you I'm adjusting because of this container. Where I put the materials. This is not allowed. A weighing scale which is approved by RSP does not have to be adjusted. But unfortunately, we've got so many of them in the market. So the problem is this. The people in charge of regulation, that's RSB, does not have capacity to go to every market, to go to every shop, to know that they're not cheating wananchi. So it's a big problem. Secondly, of course, they usually tell us that the scales that I've got ubuziranenge, which are bought from, certified by RSB, that they're expensive. There are some people who bring scales from China, these small things. You find them in the market everywhere. Unfortunately, these are faulty scales. They don't give you the proper weighing volumes. Other things is that a weighing scale is like any machine. It has to be serviced. And you've seen weighing scales. They never service them. It is there, millennium, they don't care. Or a weighing scale must be serviced. And this is our job as it teaches. This is my company. Our responsibility is to make sure that we sell proper weighing scales. We import them from outside, from known factories, and we pass them through the regulator, RSB, Rwanda Standards Board, and they give us certificate. They've got laboratories to think. Another thing, when we go to service weighing scales to our clients, we have got what we call standard weights, which we use to make service. These have been certified by the government through RSB. So we are the trust, because we've got a license, and you can't do, we can't cheat people, because the government is the government, and we work with them very closely.
So your company is approved by the RSB?
Yes, it has got certificate.
What I'm asking is, how are you going to help regular people get knowledge about the weighing scales?
This is what I've just been saying. We use media like you.
Yes.
We want you to, because these are listening to 105.1.
Yes.
Just now people have been asking questions from overseas, from places. So be more aggressive. Be more aggressive, use us.
Yes.
And also, let's invite people in the RSB to talk to the people through the radio. That's the only way. The other thing we could do is to work with the local government people. Because they're those who are close to the people, they would know what all these people are suffering from, and they were ready to talk to them and to help them, to assist them to get the knowledge.
So what after-sales services do you offer your clients? Like, what guarantee do you give your clients?
Thank you. The people who sell scales too, we give them what you call a warranty of 6 months, and even in the negotiation, I can give you a warranty of 1 year. So which means that when I sell you a weighing scale, I'm following up to give you customer care. And when you've got a problem, if the scale is not measuring well, I ask you to bring it back, or I come and bring it, then I can even give you another one, or repair it free of charge within that period of warranty. And then another thing is, we've got contracts. We've got clients with whom we've got contracts. Very many. We've got big clients like Simerwa, for instance. We've got Mountain Tea, which has got 7 factories. We've got Rwanda. We've got all sorts of clients. These ones we've got standard contracts with them, and we service them and follow them up. Once we service your weighing scale, we give you a period, given the amount of work this weighing scale does. We say after 3 months we shall come back. But if you go to the emergency, the process, you call us and you come there. We're good technicians.
So you make follow-ups?
Yes, we do.
So my last question, we are moving in a world of digital economy.
Sure.
So how are you going to be servicing your clients over technology?
Well, that's a very interesting question. Actually, we've got highly technical, technology has gone very far with our severe work, weighing scales, for instance. Let me give you an example. I've got a weight bridge in the industry here, at Masoro, which has got, it's a weight bridge, big, 180 tons. It is installed with the equipment to give information at the same time to people in the slum, because that's how headquarters is. It has got about 8 end users. So when the truck carrying maize, for instance, is sitting here, there are cameras there, both sides. They capture in time this truck, and then it goes back. I mean, the way it grows, it goes and pours, the maize comes back. They know the net that has gone there. Now, it immediately produces a report to 8 end users, including the general manager, operational manager, the warehouse, somebody in the slab, something like that. This is software I'm putting. That's my company. I'm putting this software. It makes life so beautiful. When I talk about Web's case, I can talk for a whole year.
So I can make orders electronically?
Sure. Very easily.
Wow. It's a good thing. Thank you. And that was my last question.
God bless you.
You too. Ambassador Zefa Mutanguha talking to Radio Imanzi. Now some items of international news. In Sudan, 7 people were killed in protests against the leadership of General Abdel Fattah. As people marched on Monday protesting, security forces opened fire on the protesters, killing 7 and injuring several others in what became known as the Cold War. The protests have intensified since the resignation of former Prime Minister Abdallah Hamdok. Tanzanian jihadist leader has been arrested by Mozambique. Mozambique military forces say they have captured a jihadist leader, a Tanzanian citizen, in Nangadi district in the northern Cabo Delgado province. The 39-year-old leader, known as Ali, was captured alongside 6 others. He is said to have been one of the militant leaders whose task was to recruit fighters and direct attacks. Rwanda Stock Exchange Market Review on 18th January 2022. The trading session recorded a turnover of 69,968,750 Rwandan francs worth of bonds, traded in 6 deals on the fixed income market, and 2,430,000 Rwandan francs from 27,000 shares traded in 2 deals on the equities market. As the share counters closed, M10 counter closed at 180 Rwandan francs. The trading session recorded a total turnover of 1,620,000 from 900,000 shares traded in 1 deal. I&M Bank closed the counter at 45 Rwandan francs. The trading session recorded a total turnover of 810 Rwandan francs. 810,000 Rwandan francs from 18,000 shares traded in 1 deal. Bradirwa counter closed at 125 Rwandan francs. Bank of Kigali at 250 Rwandan francs. Simerwa at 120 Rwandan francs. Equity Bank at 440 Rwandan francs. Kenya Commercial Bank at 370 Rwandan francs. National Media Group at 1,200 Rwandan francs. Uchuri Supermarket at 104 Rwandan francs. RH Buffalo at 526 Rwandan francs as the market closed. This is the end of tonight's news. Have a very good evening.